For those that do not know, as of April 9th, around 7:49 p.m., Donald Trump uploads his most disturbing post yet on Truth Social. One where he presents the surveillance footage of an innocent woman being murdered by an alleged undocumented Haitian migrant with a hammer. Before we continue, I must highly recommend that nobody goes looking for this video, and if you decide to do so anyway, viewer discretion advised. And as for Trump's long rant that came with this disturbing footage, I read it in its entirety, so you don't have to. There were three things to take away from this post. The obvious one is that Donald Trump wasted no time mentioning that the suspect is an undocumented migrant from Haiti. Literally the first thing he said. This is the first hint that makes this suspicious propaganda, because this administration already had a plan to target the Haitian migrant community in Springfield, Ohio, and then they changed course to terrorize people in the state of Vermont. It's almost like he was waiting for a case like this to happen so he could post about it, which the Haitian Bridge Alliance, a prominent Haitian advocacy group, also pointed out. After this group publicly condemned the violence and expressed their sympathies towards the victim's family, they rightfully point out the clear generalization and exploitation of the tragedy and what looks to be a justification for mass deportation and a call for collective punishment. Which leads to the next point, the victim, which Donald Trump did not say or mention her name at all, and the reason more likely being that Nilufar Easman, or Yasmin, is a migrant herself. And we know this has to be the case because the GoFundMe campaign for Nilufar was started by the Bangladesh Association of Southwest Florida. Nilufar died at 51 years old, and it's alleged that she came to America roughly 30 years ago, so around her 20s, and since then she has given birth to two daughters who are now in their 20s today. And this is what makes it all the more evilly contradicting, because Donald Trump has been hell-bent on ending birthright citizenship and violating people's 14th Amendment right. Because remember, he had no problem shoving Laken Riley down our throats, but Nilufar, a migrant woman, you didn't even have the due diligence to mention her name. That's how I know he really doesn't care about her, because if she was still alive and he successfully ended birthright citizenship, he would have had ICE agents come knocking at her door anyway. This is just one of his bids to target Haitians. The third point to call out, which is his second bid, is constantly mentioning and blaming the Biden administration and the Democratic Party, and he does it all throughout this post. And one point that I think needs to be called out specifically in this long post is where he says, and I quote, "As I've said all along, if you import the third world, you become the third world." And that is what happened over the 4 years of Democrat control. So not only is this propaganda to targeting Haitian migrants, but this is also propaganda in regards to trying to change the outcome of the midterms, because they know they are going to lose. Now, despite all three of those points being previously mentioned, there is a growing suspicion that Donald Trump uploaded this for a more disturbing reason. That reason being, on the exact same day, hours earlier, Trump's wife Melania hosted an unexpected hearing where she announced her advocacy for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, where she called upon this government and current administration to further push their investigation on the Epstein files, stating that Epstein was not the only one. 4 hours later, Donald Trump posted this disturbing video of a murder in response to his own wife. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm 50-50 on this. Part of me believes this is a far reach, but at the same time, look at how he has used social media to crash out on others, on entire countries, or even state that he's glad somebody is dead. If Trump was hellbent on mass deporting Haitian migrants, or he truly cared about Nilufar Yasmin, a migrant woman who was murdered on April 2nd, why did he wait an entire week to post about her murder, and post 4 hours after his wife publicly mentions the Epstein files, no less? If you ask me, it just looks like another distraction, just like this war he started and just like ICE agents and mass deportation in different states. Either way, this is still the most distasteful and disgusting thing to date, let alone any president. That's how I know this is propaganda, and professionalism has been dead for over a year now. I don't ever want to hear squat about merit again, and as for the suspect, he needs to go under the jail.